Right, TSB is back with a new switching deal, which could potentially be worth 340 quid in total. Now, there are a lot of different steps that you have to take, different things you have to do in order to get that total amount. But if you're eligible for this, that makes it one of, if not the most lucrative switching offers that we have seen. I'm going to go through all the details right now. Of course, don't worry if you miss things. We've got a full analysis over at becleverwithyourcash.com. Just head over there and search for TSB switch offer, and you'll take you through bit by bit in more detail again. But let me tell you what you need to do to get this offer. So the 340 quid is split into 4 parts effectively. The first lot, the first £100 is the switching itself from another bank to TSB. And I'll take you through the other things you might need to do in a second to get that. That's £100. Then you have an additional bonus, a cashback bonus, which is triple the rewards on the qualifying current account. So normally you get £5 a month if you meet the criteria each month. Well, they're going to give you triple that for 6 months, which if you do it every single month would be 90 quid. So that's your £190. Obviously, it's taking you 6 months. And then they've got the switch and stay reward. So then if you stay even longer beyond those 6 months, if you're still a customer in beginning of 2026, you then get to choose one of 2 rewards, which can be worth £120. The difference they offers, the rewards they've offered in previous iterations of this switching deal, actually worth 120 quid this time. And then that's the whole TSB offer. But then also if you apply in the first place via a cashback site, you can get another 30 or 40 quid. I think in most cases, you're going to be going for 30 quid. So that summarize that, 30 quid plus 120 plus 90 plus 100 is £340. So I'll take you through the things you need to do to trigger each of those different bonuses right now. But first of all, who is eligible? Can you get it if you're an existing customer? Can you get it if you've had a switching bonus before? Well, if you're an existing customer, yes, you are not ruled out. Okay, so you already have a TSB account, then great. You can take advantage of this if you have one of 2 accounts, and it's the same 2 accounts you need to have, or one of these 2 accounts if you're a new customer as well, okay? These are the TSB Spend and Save account or the TSB Spend and Save Plus account. Now, I personally think you should be going for the Spend and Save account because that is free. There's no monthly fee with that. It won't cost you anything, and it's not going to impact your return. In fact, if anything, because you don't have the fee, which you do get with the Spend and Save Plus account, you will make more money from this one for that 6-month period. Now, the Spend and Save Plus account, that comes with a £3 fee every single month, which after 6 months, you will cover that if you meet some criteria and you'll make £2 profit. So in the longer term, if you keep this account for a long time and you keep doing these things, then ultimately, yes, you will make more money from it. But I think it's a bit of hassle, a bit of faff to doing it. I don't see why this TSB account would be anyone's main account when there's so much better options out there. So I don't think you should go for that. The difference between the 2 up front is, when I said about there's a 30 or 40 quid cashback from cashback sites at the beginning, well, the 30 quid, the lower amount is for the free Spend and Save. The 40 quid is for the Spend and Save Plus. So yes, you will get another tenner there, which again will help level things out, but you can make that choice when you're going through it. But I personally go for the standard Spend and Save account. So that's, if you're a customer, existing customer, what you can do. However, if you have had switching money from TSB before, and for them the cutoff is sort of late 2022, but actually that's pretty much when TSB started doing these switching offers. So if you've had any switching cash from TSB in the past, it's unlikely you're going to be eligible. But most people, if you had it in the last few years, 2.5 years, you will not be able to get it this time, okay? It's also worth noting, even if you are brand new and you've not had it before, it is just once. There isn't like you had with Nationwide in the past, where you can get it on a personal account or a joint account. You get this just once per account, okay? So that's the basic principles of it. So I'll take you through the TSB bits first of all, then I'll take you through the cashback site thing afterwards, although just bear in mind that cashback site element you have to do at the start, okay? But I'll take you through the actual switching deal first of all, and then we'll talk about the Quidco and top cashback extras. So £100 is that initial amount you're going to get for switching. Now, to get this, as you do with all bank switching deals, you need to use the current account switching service, which requires you to use an old bank. I remember I've spoken to you guys before about dummy current accounts, ones you can set up and just use them just for switching. So you don't actually have to lose the existing account if you like that and you want to keep using it. But you switch from that old account, which will close the old account. Now, you need to make sure that this switch happens within 21 days of the switching offer itself ending. Now, we don't know exactly when this is going to happen. I think it's going to be late June, potentially early July, but more likely the late June. But I would say once you start this process, whether your existing account or a new current account with them, don't dilly-dally, just get on with it and start that process so you don't accidentally fall foul of that. But that's not all you have to do. There are some additional switching criteria here. And these are about using the debit card 5 times by the 19th of July. And logging into online or app banking by the 19th of July. Again, really easy things to do. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. That debit card, spend 5 times, it can be 5 lots of a pound. Again, I've spoken before about some hacks and different ways you can spend with your debit card without actually spending. So whether that's spending money to yourself or topping up accounts you're going to use elsewhere. Again, details of that over on becleverwithyourcash.com. So again, it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't mean you're missing out on using your alternative cashback cards to also earn you money to trigger this. But of course, if you're not fast about that, I'm sure you can make 5 transactions pretty easily in that time. Do all that, and the money will come through to you by the middle of August. Between the 2nd and 15th of August 2025, you'll get that first £100. So there's no direct debits needed, no money needs to be added to the account. It's a relatively simple one to do, particularly again if you don't have direct debit to set up or money to put in there. This is a nice, easy £100 to get. Done, right? First part done. The next bit is that triple cashback every month for 6 months. So normally with these accounts, you would get £5 a month if you meet the criteria, the things that you need to do in order to get that. That criteria every month is to use your debit card 20 times a month. That is a lot more than 5. That's why I'm not always the biggest fan of these accounts, because 20 times, if you're not someone who's using it as your main account, again, if this is your main account, your main debit card, it means you're missing out on cashback from alternative cards. That is a lot of times to use your card just to trigger a £5. But with this offer being triple rewards, you're doing it to trigger £15 a month for 6 months. That's a little bit more worthwhile thinking about and doing that. And again, there are those hacks, so you don't have to do it for your shopping and things like that. You can just do it routinely, nice and easily, make a date in your diary to do a number of these smaller transactions. And that will trigger the bonus each month. Now, it's important to say the month starts the month you open your account. Now, we're talking here towards the end of May that this is launching. So you've got a week and a half to do this if you opened your account right now. Okay, and that would be fine. And if you open it in June, again, beginning of June, you've got the whole month to do that, fine. If you're doing it right at the end of the month, and again, I think this offer will probably end before the end of June, but if you say the end of May or the end of June, and you've only got 2 or 3 days, make sure you do straight away do that debit card 20 times as quickly as you can, because otherwise you will miss out on that month's offer, okay? So it might catch you out a little bit. Now, this obviously requires you to stick with the account for 6 months to get all of that money. So we're looking here, depending if you apply in May or June in the first place, that's until October or November of 2025. So again, long time to keep this account, but for an extra 90 quid could well be worth it, 190 quid in total. And then we get on to the third stage of TSB's offer. And this is where I think this is a big improvement on where they've run it in the past, is additional reward. To get this additional reward, again, you have to use the debit card 20 times, and you have to do this in December of 2025. So there's another month that you need to keep the account open for. But when you do this in January of 2026, again, so you'll keep sticking this account, keeping it for a long time to get all the different parts, you'll be able to claim one of 2 rewards. Now, previously, it's been a free Now TV entertainment pass, it's been free cinema tickets, or it's been a free hotel stay. This time, it's completely revamped. There is still hotel credit, but rather than it being quite a difficult one to book as it was before, now it's £120 in Expedia credits, which means you can use it whenever you want, on whatever you want. You can book in advance, you can book for a short last minute no stay, whatever it is. 120 quid, I think that's great. So if you are going to be going away at some point, need to book a hotel, 120 quid towards that is fantastic, because it's money that you would spend. You're not getting something for the sake of it, such as maybe the Now TV pass or the cinema tickets. You're like, oh, I've got them, I'll use them. But if you're going away, 120 quid hotel, that's really good. The alternative thing you can get is essentially it's kind of a free ticket for a day out for an attraction every single week. Or if it's a premium one, it's once a month. Now, there isn't a huge amount of detail on this or what it's worth. And they say it's worth 120 quid. Potentially it could be worth more than that if you are going to these family and kids' days out on a constant basis. But I think this looks incredibly similar to something you can get from Money Supermarket with a Super Save Club. Now, normally to trigger this thing through Money Supermarket, you need to buy an insurance product through them and go for something through Money Supermarket, which if you're doing it anyway, great. But there is a hack where you can get it for free via Money Supermarket by just signing up for their credit monitor service. So basically, you can see your credit score. It's not your credit report, it's just your credit score. It's not really that useful, because really the credit report is what's more important than the score. But it won't impact your credit file. It's absolutely fine. So you'll get access to that. And also each individual can get access to that. So if you can do that for free, I don't see why you'd do it via TSB as well, particularly when, if you chose the other option, you're saying goodbye to £120 in Expedia. But that is your choice. When you're signing up, you can choose that instead if you want to. And that is that initial, all the bits from TSB. But as I said, there is an additional 30 or 40 quid that's available. And you do this right at the start. So before you apply for your new account, obviously this is going to be for new customers rather than existing customers. You apply for via Quidco or Top Cashback. You go to them, you click through, and then you go to the TSB site, and then you apply, and it will track that you've done it that way. As I said, it's 30 quid if you open the Spend and Save account, 40 quid if you do the Spend and Save Plus account, but I think you should go for the Spend and Save account. Sometimes these rates change, so do check both of them, both sites, before you apply in case there's a reduction or an increase. And sometimes you might get an additional extra bonus on top, but there's no guarantees. If you wait around for that bonus to be around, then you might miss out. It's up to you. But this isn't just clicking through. There are other things you need to do here. And this might be slightly more convoluted. So you have to make 2 debit payments in 3 of the 4 months from opening the account. Now, that includes a debit card. So if you're already making debit card transactions to trigger your bonuses, then this will count into it anyway. That's fine. But you also need to pay £500 a month in for 3 of the 4 months from opening. Now, if you're going to be using your debit card, you're going to need to put money in there anyway. Probably not £500 worth, but you're going to need to transfer that in. But again, this money doesn't need to stay there. You can put £500 in and transfer it back to your other account if you want to, or as much as you can, and still allowing some money to use those debit card spending. And then another month, do the same thing back and forth in 3 of those first 4 months. Now, if you do that, then you would get that additional money. That will take a lot longer. I'm not quite sure when you'll get it, but don't expect to be getting that as soon as the £100. But hopefully you'll get it before the end of this year. But again, there's no guarantee. It can take time. But even so, that is some extra free money that is well worth grabbing. As I said, more information about this switching deal over at becleverwithyourcash.com/banks. My name's Andy Webb. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.